it's a quiet week in the cinemas. That's no disrespect to the films that are coming out, but it is a quiet week.
Yeah.
This week. So, but there's a couple of things to talk about. And the first one we're going to talk about is something that's out on HBO Max as of right now. You can go and watch it if you have HBO Max. If you're in America or anywhere else, you can go and watch it right now. And it's coming to Sky Cinema very soon. And that is the new film by acclaimed writer-director Steven Soderbergh, although he just directs this, he doesn't write it. But it is written by David Koepp, who wrote Jurassic Park, who wrote the first Spider-Man film, and many other things in between. This is another tight budget, tightly shot, specifically small film that Soderbergh has loved to do in recent times, starring the wonderful Zoë Kravitz, and it's called Kimi. Now, I wasn't aware that I was able to watch this just yet, so Linda gave me a little heads up, so we've been able to watch it. So it's a bit of a throwback in some respects to the thrillers of the 90s and early 2000s, in that it's a film that you would probably have to go to streaming to see, as you will do with this one, although there's a bit of a difference given that Soderbergh's films do go to HBO Max now anyway because of his contract with them, etc., etc. But it is a bit of a throwback, and I quite like films like this. I used to love films like this when I was a teenager and when I was in my early 20s, and would always go to the cinema to see films like this. So while it's a shame I didn't get to see it on the big screen, it's still something that you should check out. Linda,
I think it's more than I think it's more than a shame that it's not on the big screen. I was first of all, I was completely unaware that it was coming out this week until I learned at the very last minute through sort of other film friends, and then I chased the screener and I was told it was available to view. So I was like, I'm actually quite disappointed that it's only going to Sky Cinema, but it's better than not getting it at all. So that's it. That's the positive.
Yeah.
And I like you, I am a fan. I'm a fan of Soderbergh, and like you, I'm a fan of those sort of 90s thrillers, you know, sort of tight, taut, you know, psychological thrillers. And I really enjoyed this, and I thought it was really brilliant. I didn't know it's quite short. It's not even 90 minutes long.
No,
which is great. And it reminded me a lot of his other film that came out a few years ago called Unsane, if you remember. It very much in those same kind of themes, the sort of paranoia, and you never know whether sort of the person is imagining things. It's also dealing with like new technology and the sort of all the sort of the pitfalls of new technology. So shall we say what the story is about? Do you want to go ahead?
Sure. Well, it's I've just got the old Wikipedia here. Someone has said it's a housebound thriller set in the 21st century, which is entirely true. This is a post-pandemic thriller in many respects. Zoë Kravitz's character, she plays her name is Angela. She works for a company that produces essentially something called Kimi, which is like an Amazon Echo,
or like a Alexa.
An Alexa, exactly. It's an Alexa. And she works behind the scenes where she helps the computer to learn about human words, human sayings, all those kind of things, so that they can make the equipment better. And she one day stumbles across what she thinks might be a domestic abuse or a murder or something going on in one of these streams that they call them. And she sets out to try and right the wrongs that seemingly have been done. However, because of her anxiety, because of the pandemic, and because of previous things that happened before the pandemic, she has a very, very hard time going outside. So you have to try. She has to try and find a way to right the wrongs, as I say. But then she does eventually go outside. It's not a spoiler. You see it in the trailers to try and uncover the mystery. And then there's lots of economical, social, and political commentary on top of that. I did really enjoy this, actually. I thought it was great fun. It does get a little bit silly towards the end, but then most thrillers kind of do in some respects. But I really enjoyed it. And it's probably one of the better films that Soderbergh's made for a little while. I thought Zoë Kravitz was great. It's a great little warm-up before we get to see her as Catwoman.
Yeah, I like you. I really very much enjoyed it. I don't know if it's one of the sort of his best ones that he's released. I think not many people were fans of Unsafe, which I thought was brilliant. It was just a brilliant piece of genre, sort of like big sort of psychological thriller. I really like this for a lot of. From the offset, I have to say there are lots of similarities. There's lots of homage being paid to Rear Windows, the Hitchcockian thriller, because this is a story about this woman who can't leave her house because she has this agoraphobia, but everything she deals with is outside in other people's homes. So although she's not looking into someone else's house, she's listening in. And she's imagining what other people, and it's just I think it makes a really good sort of commentary about how safe these things that we've got in our homes are, and who is listening in. And I also really liked that there was an allusion to it alluded to her being having worked on Facebook as a moderator, or sort of someone who's just had to go and remove all the most horrific images from. So she probably, I think her agoraphobia could be linked to that, possibly, because she's had some trauma in her life, and that could be. I think that was really cleverly done and very sort of interesting that it's dealing with these kind of things that very few people have done, and this is what I love about. Can we talk about the way it looks as well? I really like that it, whether deliberately or not, it very much looks suited to a small screen. And I kind of like whether he knew that this was going to go straight onto HBO or not. I felt a little bit better about not having seen it on the big screen, because it really did look like something for TV, made for TV.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Unsane was the one. He's made a few films recently, over his recent sort of decade, shall we say, where he's embraced new technology, isn't he? He's embraced digital, he's embraced shooting on an iPhone, he's embraced shooting on various different digital formats that you can get. So it is very much suited to the small screen. It's one of those kind of thrillers where if it wasn't him or Zoë Kravitz or someone else, if there was no disrespect to anybody, if it was like a TV thriller, shall we say, that was made for TV and stuff like that, was made for TV, it probably still would work quite well. But I think it's those flashes of his artistic merits, the way that he shoots films, the way that he edits films. He has specifically for this one, it feels very tight. Like you said, it's only about 85 minutes. It's very tight, it's very quick paced, but it's all positive things. It's not against negative. He could have quite easily drawn this out for 2 hours and it just wouldn't have worked. And the fact that he's able to add this amazing energy to his films, particularly in something like this, I think is really, really good. But it is suited for the small screen, and it is suited for the big screen as well. But you're right, I think watching it at home actually works to its benefit, in the sense that it is set at home, for a lot of it. So you're kind of immersed in, you're almost in your bedroom. And it's nice, like you said about Rear Window, how strange you look at, say, Rear Window, and then you look at this, and then you look at what's happened with the pandemic, where everyone's been at home for at least a year, how you now look at your neighbors a little bit differently, how people peering into your windows is still strange, but because of the pandemic, it's a thing that's become a comfort in a strange way. So it's kind of weird how that juxtaposition works in the film. I will say as well, I did love the fact that because she's listening to everything, the way that he edits the sound. So when Zoë Kravitz's character puts her headphones on and she's listening, all the goes, reminding me of Blowout and the Conversation, two films that I really love, and it kind of adds that political edge to it, where there's other things going on that you don't really know, and there's a bigger picture to what Angela, Zoë Kravitz's character, is dealing with, and all the stuff, like you say, with Facebook and everything else, all these big conglomerates that are dealing with our information, what we say and what we do daily. It's kind of scary. So I thought all of that in a 85
I think the dog wants to make an appearance. Shush. Sorry, I'm being harassed by a puppy.
Puppy says, yes, watch Kimi. But
anyway,
to do all that in 85 minutes is really, really good. It's held together by a brilliant performance by Zoë Kravitz. Every time I see her, and this is not to the detriment of her, seems to be getting better and better and better. Like Big Little Lies, she's great in. Fidelity, the TV show, if you've not seen it with her in, she's fantastic in that. And then there's this, and then obviously in a couple of weeks she's Catwoman. So, and I thought she was fantastic. What did you think of Zoë Kravitz, Linda?
I thought she was absolutely brilliant. I really loved her, and I'm a fan of hers. I think she's fantastic, and I thought she did a really good job as sort of someone who you weren't sure whether to believe, or there was an ambiguity about her performance, which I really loved, and I think that's really clever. I think that's where she really manages to sort of embody that role. Other than that, actually, I wanted to go back to sort of talking about the way film looks. So, and you spoke about how he loves experimenting with new media. But he's been doing that. I mean, like even from his first feature, the Sex, Lies and Videotapes. And this actually really reminded me of Sex, Lies and Videotapes, because he's playing with the texture of things, you know, like how things look to you when you're looking into them, and even the sound way. And I just brilliantly done. I just don't understand why more wasn't made out of this. And I literally found out on sort of the week of its release that it was coming out, which is very unusual and very bizarre, I find.
Yeah, especially for someone like him. I know obviously his stuff's gone to HBO Max, and it's different for us in the UK because we don't have HBO Max. But yeah, it's come out quite quietly, which is very strange considering you'd also, and no disrespect to Soderbergh, but you think with Batman about to come out, Zoë Kravitz, you kind of think, oh, she's got another film coming out 2 weeks before. Go see it. You know, it's kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it's good. Also, you know, touching on the fact that it's very hard to do those single location thrillers. You know what I mean? Them and everything else. But I think that they do it really, really well. They obviously go outside, but the core of it is obviously set in her apartment. And I think everything they do in there is really smart, and there's some really wonderful kind of filmmaking techniques that they use to make it seem a much bigger room than it probably actually is in reality.
I almost didn't want it to go out. Do you know what I mean? I almost
I agree.
It all to happen in the same room. I kind of think it lost a little bit of its way by leaving the house, and I am wondering what kind of film would we have had if it'd been all just in one room. But you know, I don't think it lost much, but I think I would have preferred it to be just in one location. Yeah,
I agree with that. I think that the necessity of it meant she had to go outside, but I know what you mean. I think it would have been quite intriguing. Also, I think it would have played up to what you mentioned about the fact that for a little while you're not quite sure whether it's kind of real or not, whether it's her depression or her anxiety, or the way that her issues before and pre and post pandemic have kind of affected her mental state. So I thought that was whether she was hearing something she kind of was making up, you know, one of those kind of things. So but I thought it was very, 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 very good. I really enjoyed it. And I'm surprised that A, it was very good, no disrespect to them, that it was this good, and B, the fact that it's just like snuck out.
Just snuck out.
Very strange.
Just very weird. Strange. Right, let's do a verdict. Go ahead, Scott. You tell us.
I think I will give it. Do I give it a 4? I was teetering on 3.5, but we'll upgrade it. We'll give it a 4. I'll say 4 stars. I thought it was.
I'll go with you. 4 out of 5. Really liked it. I think I've seen a couple of other movies coming out this week, and I think this is my film of the week.
Indeed, there's a few more this week. It's a small, obviously it's a weird week in cinemas because Uncharted has just come out and Death on the Nile has just come out. Next week we have Cyrano, which is kind of, I guess, a slightly bigger movie than others because of its awards pedigree, shall we say. And obviously Batman's out in 2 weeks, so it's a weird kind of lull where they try to have, shall we say, counter programming to the bigger movies by having this in. And obviously you can watch this on Sky Cinema. I think, is it this Friday? It comes out this Friday on Sky Cinema.
Yes, as far as I know, 19th. What date is the 19th? 19th is
Saturday. Yeah, they released them on Saturday. Yeah, they always release them on
Saturday,
strangely, but I think because it's the weekend and it's on TV. So if you want something to watch on a Saturday afternoon, there you go. Watch a bit of Kimi.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey